Hello, good evening. Welcome. My name is Kwabena. I want to share with you what I call set goals and work towards them. Set goals and work towards them. There are some things in life that we should have had growing up. Just as they told us how to eat, how to bath, how to paste your teeth, brush your teeth, how to the things that they told us when we were growing up. I think one of the things that we should have had when we were just children should have been how to set goals at every stage of your life and how to work towards those goals. Because if there is magic in life at all, the magic is in working towards the goals that you set for yourself, is in working towards the goals that we set for ourselves. Whether we know it or we don't know it, every one of us, our lives reflect the goals that we set for ourselves. At the threshold, the minimum, the barest minimum, any achievement, any achievement or not so good achievements that we have in any aspect of our lives, coming from the things that we set goals, the things that we had targets to hit. And so if you did not grow up with that sense of consciousness, if you did not grow up with that sense of culture, that you just every phase of your life, if you take humans for example, a lot of things change every 10 years of our lives. So the first 10 years of our life, if you're regimenting your life, you'll see that the first 10 years of your life, from 1 to 10, some things happen, and then from 10 to 20, some things happen, significant ones, and from 20 to 30, major things happen, and then from 30 to 40, things happen like that until you expire. And so set goals, set long-term goals, set short-term goals. It's not so much the difficulties or the mistakes or the things that we face that we are not comfortable with, but the goals that we set, the set goals that you have. And when I talk of setting goals, I'm not just talking about things that you just have in your mind. I'm talking of things that you can write down, maybe in your diary, on your computer, some things that you think are very much important to the general sense or essence of living. And so you want to have goals for your finances, you want to have goals for your relationships, the profession that you want, what you want to be noted for, things like that. If you have those goals set, they keep you regimented, they keep you restrained. Even if you go off a little, the goals will bring you back. And for people who like entrepreneurship and business and things like that, the very things that are going to keep you going and that are going to keep you in check will be the goals that you set for yourself, and the things that you set to keep you in check. So goals are restraints. They channel our resources, our gift, our time, our money, our energy. They are the restraints. So if you have goals for the next 1 year, if you have goals for the next 2 years, for the next 3 years, every now and then you see that let's say you want to go to school. Maybe you have your SHS and you want to go to university. If that becomes your goal, and let's say you did not pass the exam, because it is your goal to go to that, you're going to further your education, you will see that you will work towards it. If you didn't have all the grades, you would want to say that, okay, I didn't have all the grades, but I want to go to university. So what do I do? So you start to reset the exam and you work towards it. Maybe when you reset, you may not have all the grades, but you will still want to write again, because that becomes the goal. So people's reality really is the goals that they set for themselves. For me, life is a bit fair, because the very tools, the very things that we all need to achieve some level of success are very much neutral to everybody, whether you're poor or rich, whether you are male or female, whether you're short or tall, whether you're old or young. Some things that in the long term eventually separate those who achieve something from those who don't achieve anything are very much common. They are not things that you probably even need money to buy. So for instance, setting goals is not something that you have to have 10 million to do. Just have to have some ability to plan, and some ability to think, to say that I want to be in this is 2018, 2020, I want to say have a business, so I set that goal. I write it down in my diary or in a book somewhere that I can always visit, and then I write what kind of business I want to start. Where would I start the business? Who would I start the business with? Who do I want to register the business? Who do I go to register? Those things. The moment you start to write that goal down, they guide you. So before, somebody else could call you to say, oh, let's go and play football. But now you have a goal. You have set yourself, say, I want to start a business in the next 1 year. And so you're working towards that. So anything else that somebody else will say, you don't pay that much attention, because the goal puts some kind of restraints on you. They help you to channel your resources and your energy and your money and everything. When you set a goal, it keeps you in check. And so people who just live dispersed life, spread life, they don't have any focus on anything, any goal on anything. Anything that happens, they think that they just happen. Hardly would anything significant will happen to anybody without a goal. Life generally will bring you some level of change, but significant improvement that will separate you from other people, from others, will not happen if you did not have goal. If you did not have your own defined goal for your life, you will not have any significant success. And of course, when you start to talk and say things like that, then people will diffuse those things with religiosity and with all the cultural things that they tell us. And the fact is that any culture that is producing a lot of successful people, any culture that is able to handle, to minimize the poverty, the challenges, the problems, are cultures that are driven by goals. The country is driven by goals. They want to be here and they work towards it. The individual is driven by goals. He wants to be somewhere and he works towards it. The company is driven by goals. They want to hit somewhere in some time. So without that, everything else is dispersed. That's why a lot of people just, age catches up with people and they say, what happened? It's because you are not having any significant goal for your life. So the 10 years will just come and not much has been done. So without goals, we dissipate our efforts wrongly. We dissipate them just like that because we don't have the goals. So set goals for yourself. I have goals for myself. How many of them come true? I don't know. But I don't think that if I didn't have them, some things will just come true like that. And so when you set the goals, it's not that the goals will be 100% achieved. Not so much, but they put you in check. They guide you and they will push you. They generate enough energy in you for you to keep going. And so if you see somebody building a house, for instance, they draw. They have a plan, they draw, they what they call the blueprint or the architectural drawing, things like that. By the time they finish building, it will not be exactly as the drawings that they had. But without those drawings, they will not be able to build that house. So it's not that I'm talking of good engineered house, not the one that you call the mason to say must have put it here. I'm talking of the ones that you maybe 3-story, 4-story, you design, you came out with the structural drawings and all those things. They guide you. Some things will change when you're building, but without those things, you will not be able to build that house. So is life. Without goals and certain, not just the short-term goals, but certain significant goals. So this is 2018. From 2018 to 2028, what have you set for yourself? What are your aspirations? What do you want to become? Work towards that. Professionally, What do you want to become? What kind of person do you want to be? Do you want to become a professor? Or do you want to become a politician? Do you want to become a business person? What do you want to become? Have you set anything, or you just hope, or you just say that, oh, I mean, I'm 35 years. What else can I do? I'm okay. My father died early. My mother died early. I didn't have anybody to help me, so I struggled so much. I could not even finish the secondary school. So I'm a teacher in some village somewhere. What I mean, some people are so young, but they have given up because they have fought enough in life. They had very little to start with. The fact that you have fought so much in life means that there was something that was meant for you. And so if you have fought and you're still young, 35, 40, you're still very young. If you didn't have the opportunity to go to school and now you are working somewhere, you can still you can still set some goals for yourself and say that, listen, the next 10 years, I want to have a degree. I want to become this, and work towards it. Things don't just happen because you wish them happen. Things happen because you set goals and you work towards them. So personal development. Set goals for personal development. Your life is not going to change. My life is not going to improve if I don't improve personally. The books that I'm going to read, the things that I'm training on every day, if I don't have anything that I'm reading, if I don't have any information, if I don't have any videos, any audios, any books that I'm training on every day, my life is not going to change. And so the long-term goals are important, but the things that will help you to reach the goals are the tools: your psyche, your mindset, the knowledge that you process, the wisdom that you continue to acquire. Those things are the things that are going to help you to achieve your goals. And so if you sacrifice those goals of self-development constantly, every day, you set for yourself, every month, maybe I want to read one book, and I want to read one book on this. You have set goals to say to build a business, to be an entrepreneur. Okay, what are the things that I need to do? I need to know. You may have to know about business management, leadership, finance. You may have to know about the economy and how it is run. You may have to know how the world is being run, what the particular business you are doing. You want to set goal to become, say, a politician. In the next 10 years, you want to become a political leader, maybe a chairman of a political party or something. What is it that you have to do? It's not just going to happen. You have to work towards them. If you believe that because you're praying somewhere, things will happen, just as the prayer is a tool, goal is also a tool. And the man with a goal will achieve more than the man who is just praying. Those are the basic facts of life. If you have goals for yourself and you work towards them, because the goals will make you focus. Will make you focus. And people with goals are people who don't give up. People who build those kind of skills, they don't give up. And so set goal to continually train yourself every day. Every day set goals to build yourself. The books that you read, they are so critical. One thing about us as Africans, as people living in this continent, is that there is a lot of catch-up that we have to do in terms of productive knowledge. There's a lot of things that we have to do. And the earlier you accept that fact, the better. The earlier you accept that fact, that the fact that you have finished school does not mean that you know what to do in terms of succeeding with your life. Because if you went to school to read what I went to read agric engineering. Now, there's nothing about agric engineering in terms of how the tools to become successful with your life, management, finance, financial success, how to succeed with your relationships, how to set goals. There's nothing like that. So I may have spent 4 years in school and even went further to do the same kind of engineering in second degree and things like that. But those are very different from having the basis to set a successful life. And so if I don't read books that teach me these things, what kind of knowledge am I going to use to live a successful life? Is it the one that they are, the news that they broadcast on the radio every morning? Or is it that the preaching that they preach on the radio? What is it? So there are things that you need that maybe nobody may have even told you. And you may have been 30 years, 40 years, 25 years, and you have some level of knowledge. But the productive knowledge that will separate you from others, you would have to find them in books. You would have to find them in books. And so if you don't like reading and upgrading your knowledge, your strength is weak. Some people don't like reading. That's fine. But what is it that you're training with? What is it? What is your source of information? What is your source of knowledge? What is it? Because, we seem to believe so much in what we knew. But what we knew last year may not even apply this year. So constantly, people who are achieving something are always upgrading the knowledge. So they are voracious readers. They're avid readers of books. They read, they go for information constantly. They are looking for things that they don't know and they're upgrading them. And so because knowledge actually concentrates, there's a level of knowledge that you need to get results in certain levels. And so if the knowledge has not concentrated to that level, you will not get that kind of results. There's a quality of spirit that we need to have, which is a knowledge built up for us to get results. And so if you look at developing countries, the cumulative knowledge is not productive. That's why we're still where we are. So the things that we occupy, the things that interest us, the things that we are passionate about, are not the things that will help us to get off out of a situation, out of our difficulties, out of our poverty. So we waste a lot of resources, but not the knowledge that will push us to develop that quickly. And so, somebody said that the thinking that you had when you created a problem, you cannot use the same kind of thinking to get out of the problem. Some people say that the thinking that you had you cannot use the same kind of thinking to get out of the problem that that thinking created it. I think it's true. You will need a higher form of knowledge to lift yourself beyond that predicament that we usually find ourselves in. So set goals for self-development is so much important, that you get committed to something that you're always training on. And usually it's not just going to the gym to build your muscle. It's not just watching some TV. It's more in the books, the knowledge, your strength. Your strength is in the knowledge. Your strength is really in the knowledge. So the strength of your knowledge is really the strength of your life. The strength of your knowledge. In this life, people who have better knowledge are the ones who have better results. So have goals for that and constantly read. If it's a book that you can read every month, the topics should be topics that you need to change some things, to improve some things in your life. The other thing is set goals for character. Set goals for that which is critical, because there's no need to try to build anything, whether it's life or business or family, when you sacrifice character. It's not useful. It's not needed, because character is at the foundation of everything else that anybody builds. And so if we don't have the character, set goals to say that, okay, I'm going to be that person that is going to stop lying. I'm going to be that person that is not going to take bribe. I'm not going to be that person that is changing the invoices. I'm not going to be that person that will negotiate with something and come back to screw the person. I'm not going to be that person who is going to run away with people's money. Set that. I'm not going to be that person who is going to chase all these women. Set basis for your character and its goal, and you work towards them. To say that from now to the next 3 years, this is what I'm going to do to become a better person. If before people didn't trust you, you have to correct that. Say that, okay, now what do I do for at least people to take me for once? My words are serious, So you work towards that. You work. It's a character thing. It's a goal that you want to set for yourself. So you say that, no, for the next few years, this is what I want to do. And I want to be credible as a person. I want to be credible. I want to develop the ability to get things rightly. I want to have this skill. I want to have this kind of this way of looking at life. You work on that. It's character. Set character goals. It's not just set. They told us, oh, set goals to get the exams. Set goal to do this. But set goals. Set the goal to be a good person. Set the goal to be trustworthy. Set the goal to be hardworking. Set the goal to be somebody who is ethical. Set the goal. Work towards it. If you have good character, you are among the hottest in mankind. If people can take your word, if people can depend on you, if people can say that this man is a good man, and you have that, and you go into any field and you want to become successful, you are the top, maybe the top 2 or 3 out of 100. Why? Because very few people set character as a goal. So you want to set character to say that, listen, I want to, for the next 10 years, this is what I want to do. And I want to be sure that if I'm dealing with any human, if I'm dealing with somebody, I want to be as honest as it has to be. I want to be on time. I want to be credible. I want to be somebody who is kind. I want to be somebody who is forgiving. I want to be somebody who is resilient, who is tough, who is courageous. Work towards those. Those are goals that they don't just happen. They don't just happen. Maybe you're a very negative person. Maybe you're a very pessimistic person. You want to say that, listen, for the next 1 year, I want to see how much more I can reduce this way of looking at things, from the negative point and try to improve the positive as well. So you work on your character. It's a goal. Work towards it, because life at every 10 years is a major shift. It's a major shift. Every 10 years of your life, there is a major shift on that. So you work towards it. Set a goal. Life does not just happen. If you don't have goals that you're working towards, all the people, even the people who see, the thing about goal is that when you set it, you work and you develop the muscle, the skill to it. When you hit the goal, you don't just drop. When you get to that position, you will perform. If per chance something happens to anybody who didn't prepare for them, when they are there, they cannot perform. They will fail. They'll fail, because the goal prepares you. Once you set a target, you work towards it, and by the time that you get to that target, you are prepared. You will not drop. You not destroy things there, because you've been built for it. The goals will help you to build for that stage. So, but if anybody gets to any position who they never dreamt of getting to, and who they never thought of getting there, they get there, they destroy themselves, because they did not build that which was required to be at that position. And so the next one is set goal for your financial independence. Set goals for that. Set goal to get out of lack and penury and poverty. Is important on this earth. Finance is important. And so you want to set goals, but because you have set goal to be character driven, you set goal to say that, okay, if I can save, if I can have a revenue of 10,000 every month this year, or the next 3 years, the next 4 years, I want to get to 100,000 in the next 5 years. You want to set goal and build the required foundation for the financial independence. People make a lot of choices in this life because of lack of funds. A lot of decisions are made on money, so you will not want to trivialize it. You would not want to trivialize it at all. You would want to study it. And I see our part of the world, a lot of decisions are made on money. And I also even think that people are really controlled by money. A lot of people make a lot of decisions only on monies, to the extent that most people even make decisions without thinking of their reputation when it comes to money. And so they bring the contract to you, look at the contract, everything is wrong, but say, oh, no problem. How much is in for me? So you get 100,000. Oh, that's fantastic. You don't read anything, whether they are going to screw you, whether you'll be disgraced, nothing. Because you sign, and that's it. Have financial goals and work towards them bit by bit. You don't have to be in haste so much to break every rule just to get money. No, you don't have to do that. And get the right information, because a lot of us would want to just travel outside the country just like that, or because we want to be successful financially. Most people move out of our country to America, into England, into China, into all these countries just because they want financial prosperity. Most of them. Very few go out of our continent for some other reasons. But a majority of us, if we had millions, we would not even try to travel. And so study that. Don't just say that it's not important. It's important that you set financial goals and work towards them, because it gets to a point that when life is tough, you will not want to go around begging people for everything. So set financial goals and work towards them. And you don't have to lie to be financially independent. The best tool for financial independence is financial knowledge, and then taking risk to building a business or to building some investment. Taking risk. This is far more better than whatever dollars that they pay you in any country. That one nobody told us. If you want to become financially successful, is in having the right financial information, financial education, and then taking risk to work out that plan, to work that financial goals that you have set for yourself. And a lot of them fall in the realm of business, in the realm of investment. And it doesn't matter how much money that anybody else in anywhere in the world is paid. If they don't have the right financial information, they don't have financial independence and financial freedom. Because it's one thing that they pay you 10,000 Ghana cedi every month, and it's another thing you becoming financially free and making right decisions with the money that they pay you. Or it's one thing that you even set a business and that business is making a lot of profit, and you becoming financially independent. They are not the same. So you would have to have a goal and work towards them if you want to be financially free and independent. So set financial goals, and is that, don't trivialize it. It's that critical, because a time will come that you see that all the choices that you're making, major part of them, even on ethics, major part of them is because you don't have money, and because you didn't bring up your financial knowledge or financial skill. So it gets to a point you become impatient because you're growing, and you look back and you see that you don't have anything. And so if anybody throws anything at you, you would want to just take it, even if it's against your ethics, if it's against your religious beliefs, if it's against your philosophy, because there's lack, you would want to look at it. And so set financial goals for yourself, especially if you're young. Set financial goals for yourself and work towards them. Read about them as well. And the other thing that I would say is that set goals for work ethics. Set goals. Define some things for yourself. That if this kind of person, I have a professional life that I've taken. So maybe I'm a junior manager now. In the next 3 years, I want to become a senior manager. And I work towards it. And you will not get there if your work ethics are not good. And so you would want to be the person who has a defined work ethics, defined one. So you work. Life is easy when you do things rightly than when we try to destroy our beliefs and our character and everything just because you want to get ahead. And one of the best ways to get ahead in life is when you are able to work well and work hard, and you have good work ethics. You know how to get results. If that one is goal to you, no matter where you live, no matter which village or which city you live, if you have good work ethics, you will be different from everybody around you. And you don't have to be that person who is lying and cheating and cutting corners just to get ahead in life. You don't have to be that kind of person. Just have good work ethics and you will get ahead. Just have that. So set goals for yourself. And the other thing is that you would want to have some goals in terms of relationships and friendship and family and things like that. Because a lot of the things that happen around us, they happen because of the people who we work with, the people that we befriend. If the bad decision that you made that you regret so much, you made that because there was a friend somewhere, there was somebody who came and who influenced you to make that decision. And so the people who we move with have dangerous or very much significant influence on what we become. If you went to steal, you went to steal with a friend. If you went to do good thing, there was somebody who was good that you befriended. If you were a good man, you're a good man because the people around you are good. Human beings are social beings. We can easily be influenced. And so the best goals that you will set will be the kind of people that you will define to have as friends. People that you want to get close to you would want to have, because you don't want to compromise. Because if you move with people, their character will rub off on you. You cannot underestimate that power. So let's say I don't like smoking. If all my friends are smoking, after a while I will consider it. But if I like smoking and I want to stop, and if all my friends don't smoke, after a while I will start to reduce that, because human beings have a lot of influence on each other, or on each other. And so look at the family, define the kind of people that you want to move with. And if you are ambitious and you want to go somewhere, you would want to flow with people who are also going somewhere, people who are ambitious, people who think of the future. You don't want to befriend people who are always talking about what somebody else did. You know, they are talking about what shoe that that woman bought. They're talking about the wedding. They're talking about the naming ceremony, the party. If you're ambitious, you don't want to befriend such people. You want to befriend people who are thinking of the next business idea, the next goals that they want to achieve, the next significant thing that they want to embark on. Those are the people who want to change the world, the people who want things to improve. People who want things to improve. Those are the people that you want to befriend. You know, so because once you move with them, you're talking of goals here. Once you move with them, you see that your goals, they become clearer because you're communicating with people every day. So the topics that you're communicating, you are getting better understanding of them. So if this friend is always coming and they are talking about wache and aproprensa and maize and things like that, what information you are getting? Nothing. You're getting information that will not help you to achieve your goals. You know, but when you're a friend with somebody who is going somewhere, he comes is discussing how to be ethical, how to be a good person. They are discussing how to build this business into 100 million. They are discussing how to overcome the challenges between you and your goals. They are discussing how to become good people, take care of people, take care of the environment. They are discussing things that will make you better. Those are the people you want to flow with. You don't want to flow with people who come and they talk and the next time all your strength is gone. You have lost your focus because when they came, they were talking about things that you didn't need in your future. You know, and if you spend 3 hours with people who are always talking every day, if you spend 3 hours with people who are always talking about things that you don't need in your future, do you know what you're spending? Every day you spend 3 hours talking about things that are not important. 7 times is what? How many days? So, every day 3 hours, 7 times 3 is 21. You know, every week you're spending 21 hours discussing things that will not, change anything in your life. At the end of the year, do you know how many hours you would have spent? A lot. And that will prove the path and the success that you have achieved because you wasted the hours discussing things that were not much important to the future that you want to create. So set goals. Not everybody that can move with you. You can, yes, say hi and everything, but when it comes to setting goals to keeping the people who you will need in your future, who can help you to achieve your goals, you look at their concentration, the things that are they going somewhere with their lives? Are they going somewhere with their lives? You have to have those kind of goals as well. So family, same. The fact that your family does not mean that everybody wants to be successful. And so when it comes to the joke and everything, you joke, but you pick the family ones, those in the family who want to go somewhere. You don't want to discuss your goals with the ones who don't want to listen to your goals. And you continue to bother them every day and they are not interested. You will give up. You will give up because they cannot see you in that future. So work on your goals. Set goals. Without that, the future is not that good. Without that, if you work on your goals, the future will be bright. And it doesn't matter. Some people think that, life is difficult, life is tough. Yes, life is difficult, life is tough, perhaps. But life is tough for those who don't have goals, those who don't know where they are going. If you set goals for yourself, no matter what difficulties, no matter what challenges that you meet, you will get to those goals. Why? Because the goals themselves have enough power, strength to encourage you to keep going at them. And so work on your goals. Work on your goals. Don't think that the future is just going to change. Work on your goals. And it's not just goals to finish the university. It's not just goals to pass that professional exam, but more importantly, goals to live the dreams that you have. Goals to get into that realm, to live the dreams that you have. And if you are from this continent, your goal should also be that this continent must must prosper. Our people must live in dignity. And it should be all of us are burden. Sometimes I look at the challenges that the people go through, the poverty level, and it should be our burden to at least once in a generation, the poverty of our people is our burden. And we do what we can as individuals to improve that, and it should click. It should work on you. So goals are restraints that channel our resources, our gift, our time, our energy They will channel that. So if you see somebody who is just always everywhere, every program they are there, every comedy they are there, they have no goals for their lives. That's why they have time for everything. If you see somebody who's that much focus, he has goal. So you will not see him everywhere. You will not see him dancing at every funeral, everywhere. Even as a matter of fact, religious activities, constant religious activities, even shows that people, constant attendance of religious activities, so sometimes even show that people have no goals, their own personal goals. They don't know what to do with their own lives, and so they have to spend a lot of time in churches every day, 2 hours, 3 hours every day. What do you want to become? Do you want to become a preacher? Then that's fine. But you cannot you cannot build a business and every day you're spending your time at one program or the other. No, at a point you must focus on what you want to become. You must focus and work towards that, because every achievement is a trade-off of time and resources. So if you think that you can do a lot of things, but until you have succeeded in one thing, you may not be able to spread yourself that much. So don't spread so much. Focus on achieving something with your life. Focus on becoming something. Have a clear definition of what you want to become. So set goals and work towards them. Put them in a book. Get a diary and write them. And if you've been doing them, you look at it, they'll be helping you. That's why you have not given up. That's why you are still full of energy. That's why you are still full of hope. That's why you are still working towards the future, because you have goals for your life. But if you have not been setting goals for yourself, you see that you are the one who will give up easily, quickly, because you did not set goals for yourself. So without goals, we dissipate our efforts. We just destroy the energy that we have, because we have no goals. So anybody at all can just say anything and we follow them. But set goals for yourself. Have goals. And have goals to develop yourself every day. Constantly. Read books, go for knowledge, go for information that will get you to your goal. So if you want to become the top footballer, you cannot be reading books that will make you become a top actor. You set the goal and you get the materials that will get you there. So you work towards it. The proof of you believing in the goals that you are set for yourself is the strategy that you map up. It's not good enough to have hope. You must have a strategy to get to that hope. So goal is like that. You must have a strategy to get to those goals. And one of the strategies will be constant self-development, self-improvement, reading books and building skills, getting the right expertise to get to where you want to go. So build character as well. There's no point trying to achieve a lot if you have no character. It's not important. Be a person that people can trust. Be a person of your word. Be a person who says yes and is yes, no and is no. Let people know that you're a man who values people. You're a woman who has respect for people and for your word. And the other thing is that work towards have financial goals. Have financial goals. Work towards something. Don't just destroy the money that comes to your hand. And if you're building business, you go through a lot of turbulence. But once things start to stabilize, make sure that you set your financial goals rightly. Set your financial goals rightly, because with that, you can achieve a lot. You can do a lot of things. You can do a lot of good things just because you have money. And so work towards that. And have goals for your work ethics. Work. Let people know that when they give something to you, you will work and you'll do it well. You'll do it perfectly. Be that kind of person. Don't be that kind of person that they tag you as somebody who is lazy. They give you everything, you don't work well, you don't show up well. And the other thing is that have your goals for the relationships that you want to keep. Because the people who come around you, they will decide your future. The people you move with, they are deciding your future. And so have some kind of goals for even the kind of person that you would want to marry if you're not married. Have some characteristics. Don't just hope that things will just happen like that. So have goals and work towards them. And so thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for watching.